And we are live, and I am back on my channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where today I am here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not going to happen in this video, but that's okay. I'm going to live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. I'll say what's up to her.
Welcome back to the internet, and thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure to do so. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful you are here. Grateful for all of you in my live chat. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Dr. Jim Bunny. Thank you for being here, Doctor. We have Shani in here with us. Hey, Shani, thank you for being here. My girl Keywan J is in the building here. Do what she say, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. Support the live. Also, be sure to subscribe to my girl Keywan J. She also covers this show with a slew of other shows. She is funny as hell, and y'all need to go support my girl. Like up her video, subscribe to her channel, and be sure to tell her James sent you. So, we got to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. Unfortunately, I have a lot of opinions that I feel like y'all are not going to agree with me on, but that's okay. This is why we do this. You know, we're always not going to always agree with each other, but you know, I am here for it. I will try to be objective to everybody else. We start the show off with Kelly. Kelly is at the Nana's Chicken and Waffles in Sandy Spring. She is talking with, you know, her mama and her grandmother, who is Nana. Nana is the one who inspired Kelly to open up the restaurants in the first place. So they're looking around, you know, Nana's Chicken and Waffles in Sandy Springs and notices they, you know, very many customers inside. And the mama was looking like, we got a whole lot to work on. We got to make sure that these employees are professional. We need to make sure everybody's following the recipes. And then ain't many customers up in here, Kelly. I mean, and Kelly's like, yeah, I know. And it's a lot of stress because Kelly is going through it financially, y'all. And I'm not trying to be funny like right now in this instance because I know this is really serious for her. But Kelly is going through a lot. Her ex-husband owes her about $50,000 in back child support. Um, you know, the other restaurant, you know, is doing okay, but financially she is drained. Emotionally, she is drained. She can't even film with her daughters on the TV show because he did what Mark Daly did with Kenya when it came to Little Brooklyn. So I guess Atlanta is one of those states where the parents have rights not to put their children on national TV. I guess he signed whatever waiver that is, so she can't film with her kids. She's going through it, y'all. Kelly is going through it, and she, you know, this is taking a huge toll on her financially. She can't afford to do the things that she would normally do. She can't, you know, her daughter's in college. Kelly got a lot going on. And though I sympathize with Kelly because I can understand, this is what you get for flexing last season like you were doing. I don't have, like I said, I have sympathy for Kelly in instances of business because I know it's hard to start a restaurant business and this is your second location. I totally get that. Like my heart goes out to her in that aspect. But where I kind of lose my sympathy for her is because I can't get it out of my mind how she came on the show and how she was just flexing money. And I told y'all, it did not make sense to me then, and now things are making sense to me now. Because Kelly was flexing like she had $50 million in the bank. And it was just kind of like, okay, we need things to make sense here, lady. And it's not. So I hate that she's going through this, but you know, hang in there, Kelly. You know, you keep with your endorsements, you keep everything, you'll be all right. How did you feel about Kelly's scene?
Pretty much the same as you. Live within your means. Because I'm pretty sure when we first met her, she was in the middle of divorce, so she was paying for lawyers in addition to party buses just to go down the street and all this crazy stuff. And you're correct. It did not make sense. I appreciate her for sharing and being vulnerable, but keep it real. Ain't no reason you should have a whole new face and overly injected lips when you can't even afford to drive your daughter back to school and all of these other things. So Kelly just needs to make better choices going forward and be forthright, but she gonna have to sit and sift and swim through the egg that she has made for herself.
I 100% agree with that. You know, we wish you well, Kelly. I don't wish ill will on Kelly. I just, you know, she's just not my cup of tea. She wasn't last season. She's not going to be this season. She's not my cup of tea, but I don't wish her, failures or stuff in her business. I want her business to succeed. And I want to visit Nana's Chicken and Waffles when I go to Atlanta. I want to see what the hype is because from everybody I know in Atlanta and reading other comments, her food is actually really good. So it's unfortunate that she's having this financial setback because Madonna is far from Atlanta. That's about an hour away. So I mean, I got to travel a great distance to get there, but we're just hoping that she, comes out on top. We know in today's time her restaurant in Sandy Springs is closed, so we know that unfortunately she wasn't able to keep the doors open. But don't let this stop you, Kelly. You know what you do? You go into Perimeter Mall or North Point Mall or whatever it is. I don't recommend too many different malls, but go in a mall, get you a little spot, and start off smaller. That's what you do until you can build up brand. Because definitely, if you got a good thing going, keep going. When you get your money right. Not now, but when you get your money right. But the next scene we have is with K Michelle. She's sitting with her husband. She's going to the dentist because she has to get her teeth removed. I'm not sure if she was talking about the veneers. I don't know if she was talking. I don't know what she was talking about. But needless to say, she said teeth. So I'm going to say what she says. So she says she has to get her teeth removed, and she's filling her husband in on the trip to Dallas and how this trip has been crazy for her. She's not getting along with the women, and she feels like they, are plotting against her, and that, it's crazy that with Phaedra and Portia and Drew that she is having this, rambling with these three women specifically because she thought she was going to be cool with them the entire time of the show. And I'm not going to talk about and expand on this right now. I'll expand on this a little bit later. But Kay Michelle does a lot of doctor's appointments. I hope everything is okay. How'd you feel about her opening up to her husband about what's going on between her and the ladies?
I just want Kay to stop complaining and just interact. Like, I know she's been on other reality shows before, and there, aside from Rashida and Jocelyn, I don't feel like she needs to be carrying her trauma from Love and Hip Hop over here.
I don't think so either.
I think it's unrealistic. You've done reality TV. It's unrealistic to expect that someone you go on TV with is going to remain your friend, especially a shady African gold digging cougar like Portia. Like, anybody coming on this show expecting loyalty for Portia is tripping. Portia, the only consistent people she keeps in her life in terms of friends that we've seen on TV really was Shamia. Other than that, she just keeps up with Lauren and her mom and whatever. There's obviously something wrong with her.
I agree.
Shady. I don't understand why Kay would come on here with high expectations for Portia. Never have high expectations for somebody that took somebody else's man or will say that they'll sleep with a husband or that moves like Portia does.
I mean, reputation comes from the company you keep.
Yep.
Portia's reputation is terrible. So I just don't understand how you didn't consider that. When I get now, in the grand scheme of things, K Michelle's defense, she did know her prior to her joining Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, it might not have been very long, but she did know her prior. So maybe there is a different Portia off camera than there is on camera.
Fallon knew her prior to the show as well. A lot of people have come on knowing Portia away from the camera and off of RHOA because she did spend some years away from the show. But I mean, they all kind of say the same things. I'm just saying.
Well, in Portia's defense, Simon debunked it. Simon said that Fallon did not know Portia before joining Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Simon is a liar too. They did the film saying they know each other. I'm just going off what y'all said. Hell.
Dr. Jen said, we back. She said, hell, mama, laugh out loud. Your daughter ain't professional with A&T out all this. She talking about Kelly. That shit is funny. No, her daughter ain't professional though. She not. He went to market. He did. I don't like that's crazy. Why are you stopping this lady from making her money? Like, if that's her storyline, that's her storyline. Them kids ain't hurting on being on television. Right, Kelly is not my cup of tea. She's actually from Maryland, I think from Andrew or Baltimore County. Okay. Hey, by the way, I know the married preacher is, by the way, Portia said at the end of, oh, DM Rocks, we can't say it here because I ain't trying to get sued. But DM me that information, please, and thank you. You have my IG, don't you? I believe we have. If not, I'm going to put it right here. I want to know who it is. I have my suspicions. I have my guesses. But my Instagram is here. DM me that information, please, and thank you, because I want to know who it is. She didn't know that woman, but she did walk out with her man, JB. She walked in not knowing that lady, but walked out with her husband. Ain't that crazy? But anyways, oh my, yes. But moving on from there, we have a dinner scene with Phaedra, Angela, Drew, and Portia. And I would say here, I will put allegedly. Okay, as long as you do that, because I can't put it on my screen because it's not coming from me directly, but put allegedly who it is, and I'll put it on my screen. Um, but yeah, they have a meeting with Portia, Drew, Phaedra, and Angela. They have a meeting, and Phaedra is telling the ladies that she had, an outing with K. Michelle and Kelly. And K. Michelle is saying that Phaedra herself, Portia, and Drew are plotting against K. Michelle. Now, I thought so. Oh my God. I thought it was him. 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 I did not think Jamal Bryant. I did not think it was, because that's too easy. That's way too easy.
Pastor John Gray also is built like Kelly ex-husband, so I believe it.
I believe it. I believe that 100%. I believe that, but this is allegedly. Don't be coming after me. This is allegedly. I didn't even say his name, but allegedly, I thought it was him. I really did. And yeah, he is. He does favor her ex-husband, so it does not surprise me at all. But they
follow the Lord and the Word, not your pastor, because all these pastors is hoes, allegedly.
Allegedly, that is allegedly. That is allegedly. Thank you, DM Rocks, for the tea. Thank you, DM Rocks, for the tea. We appreciate you. That's why I keep you on my channel, because I love you when you get your information, because you have not been wrong, not one time, that you have given me information and tea. So I appreciate it. Milk Dug, not Milk Dug Head. So, but they're talking about this plot that K. Michelle says that they are plotting on her. Baby Portia and Drew looking at each other so like with confusion, because at this point they're not sure where she's coming from, and neither am I. Because I don't think it's a plot at all. I don't think that, because one, if it is, we don't have details of the plot. What are they plotting about? And what is the plot going to do? I have so many questions on, because I'm not going to just completely discredit K. Michelle. But at the same time, if she's going to put information out there like that and be accusatory of said plot, I need her to connect the dots too. What exactly is the plot? What do you know? What are they trying to do? And how are they trying to do it to you? Mrs. Best, am I reaching with that? Do you agree? Or do you feel like K. Michelle may have a point? Because
I do feel like there's some form of plotting going on. I mean, that's pretty obvious season after season. I think it's weird that K. Michelle's making such a big deal of it because it happens on every reality show.
I think I agree with you, but it's not as obvious.
If there's nothing about her that's like being attacked, I don't see the big deal. Let them plot. But I think the problem that she has is if you expected someone to be your friend that you knew prior to the show, and then you come on and they move that way, that's the concern. But I don't think she's freaking out for no reason. K. Michelle doesn't have a history of freaking out for no reason.
I don't think it's for no reason, but I do think it's over exaggerated just a little bit because she's not going into details. And the thing about it is with the housewife, because you're right, they do this in housewife lands. But the problem with they of when they do it, it's always an obvious thing. For example, Real Housewives of Potomac, Stacey. It's obvious. They're picking on Stacey, calling out things and trying to accuse her of lying when Stacey has dispelled every lie that they accused her of. With Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it was Amanda. Same situation. They were trying to ostracize and bully her over every little thing. With K. Michelle, I don't see that same method. So I think that that's why I'm not connecting because it's obvious when they try to plot on somebody to make someone else's
I think
storyline.
that's
So
what a lot of people are saying, but I encourage people to open their minds. Just because something is obvious and we have been complaining about those obvious ways that they plot on people, maybe
mhm.
these bitches finally switched it up. Just because something's not obvious doesn't mean it's not happening. I just think that Kay is communicating it incorrectly, if that makes sense. Like she's not explaining herself correctly. She's crying in her hands and telling other people of what's going on, but she's not explaining stuff clearly. But I do think that something is going on. That was my reason for not being excited for Portia coming back to RHOA. Because when she's around, her and Phaedra, plots happen and things like that. And I feel like with Phaedra on the cast with Portia, they're probably going to be a little smarter at how they plot and come at people, because the last time they were on a cast together, we had that situation with Candy in that basement in the dungeon and those allegations. So I do think something's happening. I just think K. Michelle is speaking on it before it's apparent to the audience, which makes the audience feel like they can't side with her, like she's a problem. But I feel like she'll redeem herself at the reunion.
Okay, that's fair. And like I said, I'm not completely against K. Michelle, but I do see the trauma misplacement that she's doing here a
She
little
better
bit.
stop crying and start shaking tables.
Right. And I do
Tables.
see the projection that she's doing as well. That's the only two things that I'm going to go with her is that I see her projecting a lot. And I'm seeing a lot of misplacement of trauma that I don't think is formed here yet until we see something. I need to see something to where that can be placed to where I'm like, okay, K. Michelle, I see exactly where you're going with this. You're 100% right. Because I don't like Portia. But I can't fully go against Portia on behalf of K. Michelle because I like K. Michelle. I can't do that. Like, I'm actually on Portia's side so far because she hasn't done anything yet. Until she does it, then that's when I'll be on K. Michelle's side. But yeah, I can't.
Yeah, she's got to do something for us to see. And I think that's what Kay needs to remember. Until the audience can see it, you're going to just look like you're emotionally all over the place and paranoid. But I don't doubt what she's saying to not be true. I just think we cannot see it yet. But we will eventually see it. Because
Portia gonna slip. Yeah.
This loyal person on a Housewives franchise, probably she's one of the all-time most disloyal people. So I'm sure we will see it. And I feel like Shamia made a similar mistake with Portia as well in her first season, where she didn't let her do something big enough before we could like form an opinion, but I'm sure stuff was happening. I think with Portia, they're too excited sometimes to expose her that they just let stuff sit and she'll show herself.
It's two things, because I agree with that too. It's two things. One, they want to be in her good graces because they think that Portia is the queen bee. I feel like Shamia is shown an example that she didn't want to go up against Portia, even though whatever it was, we probably could see what it is, Shamia. I do feel like there's a part of Portia that feels like because it worked with your African, it was supposed to work with her African. I think that that's where I'm seeing the triangular with Shamia. Now with K. Michelle, I don't see it yet. So that's why I'm like, okay, K. Michelle, Portia gonna reveal herself. Just be quiet and just let it fester. It's going to reveal itself. You just gotta be quiet. So from here, we have another scene with Portia and her mom and sister. It was a little nothing scene. She want to get her daughter a reptile, but then she talks about, the circumstances of her dating two people at the same time with Lauren. And, Lauren's saying that the guy, I keep forgetting his name, the one I was on Ready to Love, he keeps blowing up her phone, trying to get in contact with Portia when Portia don't answer the phone. And it's like when he couldn't get a hold of Portia, he sends a mariachi band to her home. And I was like, why? Why would you do that? Like, what the hell is you doing? Like, why are you sending people to her house playing music and shit? And then what cracked me up, she said that Dennis had popped up out of nowhere because apparently Dennis only live around the corner. So Dennis pops up regularly, and he normally does not do the popping up without calling first. So the fact that he just popped up, and she had to explain all of this, so it's crazy because he already feel away when she dating somebody. And then she talks about Sway, and she's saying that Sway, is also, someone that she enjoys as well. And both of these people want kids. They want children right away. The difference between Sway and old boy is that Sway can actually have the child herself. She don't really need Portia. In the case that, Portia would want another baby, Sway could have the baby. With the situation with the man, Portia would have to carry. So it's like, she's, a lot of different things are going on with Portia. So she's hoping to figure it out. She does have a dinner date with Sway coming up, and then she also plans to see the other dude as well. So hopefully it works out. I'm just like, I'm over this Portia date storyline already because in today's time, we know who she ended up with. So it's not playing out well at all. So, Mrs. how do you feel about Portia explaining her dating life and the circumstances of who she's going to choose and what these people are demanding from her?
I don't care about no whole dating life. Portia's a bot. I don't care. I'll care about Portia's dating life if she's been with the same person for longer than 5 years. That's when I will care. Until then, everybody's a contender. I have been in a relationship for almost 20 years now, so I don't know how dating is, but from what I hear from people single, it's terrible out there. So prayers to all of you. But why are people who are just getting to know each other talking about kids? Like, aside from the whole, yeah, I'm going to want to have them type of thing, like, get to know people, figure out if you're going to last first, maybe then discuss kids. I don't know, but I'm not invested in Portia's dating life. Never have been. Even seasons ago when she divorced Cordell, I was dating that other boy, that little light-skinned boy, and all of that. I don't know. She's reckless with how she dates.
Yes.
And I get that people like Portia. I'm not judging her as a person, but just in terms of how she dates, it's reckless. She kind of moves like you would expect to see people date on like a show like Jersey Shore, those young people on Love Island, like, but this is a 40-something-year-old woman. So,
and I wouldn't have a problem with this if Portia didn't have a child.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a...
It's an important conversation to have when you're trying to date. But I'm like, the consideration that she's making with it, it's like, obviously you don't take this man seriously. He came out was online talking about he was paid to be put on RHOA and all this stuff. So it's a good conversation to have, but Portia is not the person to have it with because I don't think she take none of these contenders seriously.
No, she don't. But she might take that young lady serious. But I'm just saying, for me, I wouldn't have a problem with Portia and her dating this way and all this kind of stuff and her going from person to person to person. The problem that I have is that I don't think that that's a good example to show children. And them having to meet new people every chance. And then when shit go left, then they have to be ripped apart for them. Because what happens if, the little baby gets attached to this young lady you with now today? Like she was attached to Simon. And when Simon left, he cut off all communication. You couldn't even call him just to say, hey, to the baby. You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's detrimental to somebody. For them to have to build a relationship and then be ripped apart of a person, then have to build another relationship. And like that just shows that people are disposable, which in reality they could be. But you don't tell a child that. You wait till they're old enough to understand that first. That's all I'm saying. Hi, Lexi Lee. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. She better stand on business. You're talking about K. Michelle. I hope so. I'm hoping this works in her favor. I really do. I wanted to. I'm going to say it like that. I wanted to. But the way this is going, it ain't looking too good for her. I'm just saying. I believe her because them fools do that every single time. That's their man. I believe her, but I need to know what it is. That's the thing. If she could say what it is, then maybe I won't have such a starch to say, okay, K Michelle, you're doing too much, you're looking crazy and stuff. I would just say, let this play out, y'all, because this is gonna be so good. It's gonna backfire on Portia and Phaedra and Drew, like you're not gonna believe. I want to do that, but I cannot do it because K Michelle's not saying what it is. And I
I mean,
don't
she
even think
has
she
said
knows.
what it is. I think the audience just isn't accepting it because she said the
What
exact
was
same
it?
thing when she went on to Watch What Happens Live. She's explained that she felt like these women were plotting on her. She felt like they threw shade at her about certain smells with the oyster jug. It's like more so little things, it seems like, that they are doing to throw shade. It seems like what she's explaining is they're doing little things to throw shade, hoping to provoke and get a reaction out of her, which I can understand. K Michelle is not saying stuff clearly, but she is saying the little stuff that is happening. The problem is the little stuff that is happening is so little that the audience don't really give a damn. So that's why I feel like she'll redeem herself more at the reunion. Because lately on Bravo, when we get to the reunions, they show us clips of shit that we didn't even get to see in the season, or extended edits and stuff. But I do agree with Dr. Jen. It's the MO of what this cast does and how they move.
Right.
And if anybody's watched K Michelle, they're not going to, you're going to know that she's not just going to have a problem with nobody for no reason. Usually it's something that's been done to her. She's been poked in some way. So I feel like it'll come out eventually, but everybody's so quick to either come for Portia, kind of like Kelly, her first season, asking Portia about Simon and all of that. Like everybody's so focused on Portia. That's why I kind of feel like she needs to be removed from the show. And also, whoever's idea it was to put Portia and Phaedra back on the show together was stupid. Because I'm sure there's all sorts of shit going on in the background, especially with Faye Faye.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's why I get the little things that build up, but to me, that's just not enough. I need more. Yes, Portia is low key in competition. Yeah, absolutely. This is why this doesn't work on Portia's end. I don't think Shabia cares, but on Portia's end, absolutely. I think when Portia was winning, and Simon had more money than Gerald, I think that it was fine then. But when it came to that being ripped apart about her, and Shamia still had her husband, him, still loving on his wife and still providing for his wife and everything, I think that that's where it didn't stick. Because these two were always on the outs with each other, but it's always at a time where Portia's not winning. Now, when Portia's
Portia's
winning,
jealous. She's the worst type of friend to have. It seems like whenever her friends are doing as well as her, she kind of stays back but still deals with them. But the moment that they start to do better than her, she can't seem to handle it. She can't seem to take it. She just seems like a jealous person on the low. Yes, she's beautiful and has no reason to be jealous of other people, but
Portia and Shamia gives
Diane's
me
daughter.
but Portia and Shamia gives me, it's, even though they weren't friends, it gives me Giselle and Monique. It gives me when Monique first came on Real Housewives and said she had 4 homes and how Giselle instantly just was hating. That's what it gives me. It really does. It gives me that same dynamic.
And Giselle loved her again when she got a divorce.
When she got her divorce and lost everything. Exactly. Portia crew hype her up. They make her feel like she's that girl, when in reality, Lisa Milan is that girl to me. That's who they think Portia is. Yeah, I can see that. The women are not producers, so that's why you can't see when it's them. I feel this is someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. I can see that too, JB. I can see that too.
That could also be something.
Yeah.
Either way, it still goes to prove that Kay is right. Somebody behind the scenes somewhere is doing stuff, trying to make a problem.
And that's why I wish K Michelle would not have did this. I wish she would have stayed quiet and played along with it, because it would have revealed itself. That's why like people who want to go on reality TV and you feel like somebody is plotting on you, when you hear little subliminals, that's your chance to be quiet, laugh with them,
dust, and let them expose.
Yeah, and let them exactly. Y'all don't play the reality TV game well. That's why when things like this happen, that's why I said I have to wait and see how this plays out, because I have questions all over the place in this episode, all stemming on K Michelle's reaction. And I don't want to do that, but I have to be fair because this is what we're being shown. Even though I know better, I gotta let it play out, y'all. I'm sorry I have to do it like this, because I you know, and hopefully my opinion sways to the right side because I don't want to be on Portia's side. I don't like Portia, so I don't want to be on her side. But so far, she ain't did nothing yet. But them little subliminal jokes that ain't to me, she didn't even direct that cable show, so I can't say yeah that was intentional for you when she didn't say your name, she didn't say anything about it. We
Like
didn't know
I
she was in
said,
charge
I
of
just want Kay stop crying and stop complaining. Clock in, bitch. Shake the table, shake these wigs and weave, shake these BBLs, shake it up. If people throw in small jabs, throw them back. I don't know why she's coming on here like low-key softer. Either you're gonna be quiet and let shit play out and speak at the reunion, or start giving it back to them, because that would make it more entertaining. Because I've kind of been underwhelmed with this season. This was one of the few episodes I felt that was actually good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I go for the educated pretty girls. I know that's right. I think that it's an important conversation to make sure you're a match.
I think he's talking about the conversation about kids.
Oh, okay. Yes, gotcha. Sorry, JB, that took me for a little. Sorry, but I got you. I got exactly what you're saying. Absolutely, I 100% agree. If Miss Mamas is that girl, why can't get the cream of the crop? Because she ain't that girl. She perpetrating like Sheree did. Yes, she has a daughter. What are you doing, girl? She's a 16-year-old in the Mai and almost pushing 50. Exactly. She never grew up in the time. Yeah, the same. Portia was bullied. And so she never grew. Like a lot of the times when you bully, you don't really grow up from those times. A lot of the ways that you move are very similar to how you would have moved in high school if you would have been that girl. She need to grow up. That's the problem. And a lot of people think because she's so beautiful that it's so cute that she's a he, and so dingy. But Portia's not dingy. Portia's not stupid. She knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah. Portia ain't no friend to her blood. She showing, but you know what? She gonna be loyal because at the end of the day, she can't dismiss her like she can Shamia. She can give a fuck about her friendship with Shamia, but her sister ain't going nowhere because that's blood and that's family. She can fuck over her, but she ain't gonna fuck over her to the point where it's gonna be detrimental where they fall out. That will never happen with Lauren. May happen with other people, but not Lauren. I don't see that happening. I agree. I wasn't keen on having Portia and Phaedra back. I told y'all how I felt about Phaedra coming back. I felt like, to me, this was giving her an easy check, and she wasn't going to have to work for it. And we are showing proof of that. Phaedra ain't had no storyline yet, and we in episode 8.
I get that Bravo wants to keep Phaedra. I get that she can be entertaining. She did great on Traitors. I do not think reality shows with this type of format, the Real Housewives, Married to Medicine, I do not think these are the type of reality shows for her. No. She did great on Traitors. She was fun and highly entertaining on Marriage Boot Camp. She does well on shows where she don't really have to share too much. Mm-hmm. She hasn't done anything in the 2 seasons that she's been back on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, I preferred her on Married to Medicine just because she had to work for her check.
They made her, that's one thing I appreciate about that cast. They made Phaedra have to tell us stuff, show her life, talk about who she was dating. Like, they forced that lady to show up and work. On RHOA, Phaedra gives Rula minus the call outs.
Right. Exactly. That's a good point. I could not have a friend like Portia. I don't think anybody could. Like, if you want a friend like Portia, I question you and your antics and everything like that, because Portia is not a friend to anybody. So why the hell would you want to be a friend to her? It's crazy. Exactly. It's very simple. It's not hard to put that together when you really peel back who she has been. And then when you read her book was very telling. Like, she might not have intended for her book to be the way that it is, but her book put it out there in plain, simple terms of who she is as a person. So it's very,
She told on herself every time
she did.
Excerpts from the book, it just confirms that she's just a cougar, a little bit of a bop, not very intelligent, and most of what she got off the name of somebody else or someone she slept with. That's unfortunate.
There are honestly more than 8 situations I could point out that show her scheming ways, and I definitely didn't like how she tried to come for my girl Candace on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls trip. I remember that as well. She did Candace dirty too. And see, and Candace is the type of person, because I'm not saying Candace is like Tamar, but it's kind of that same where Candace goes gutter gutter, and if you're not affluent enough
It
or if you're
is
not
like
educated,
Tamar. That's why they friends and putting out songs together right now.
I feel like Tamar's is hood, Candace's is educational.
But it's the same.
But it's the same. No, it is. If it's production, we know she can't say. They'll do her like Angel on Potomac, and that's what I don't want. Thank you, JV, for pointing it out, because that's exactly how I feel, and I don't want that for K. Michelle, because Angel was never able to come back from that, and then we'll never get to see her redeem herself for what production fucked up. And that's why I said I feel like she need to call it out, because either way, you may not get a second chance just because you may not fit the agenda that production has already.
I feel
But
like
like someone
production
said in the
loves
comment,
K. Michelle. I
yeah,
don't
that's
know
why I
why.
think the difference is production loves K. Michelle. I don't think they
They
care
did
for
not
Angel.
like Angel.
So I
Yeah.
think that's the difference. That's why I said she should just call it out, because I think she'll still be protected. That's my opinion. Yeah. I used to be a fan of Portia's years ago, but over time I realized she can be dishonest and mean spirited while trying to mask it behind the fun girl image. I used to like Portia as well. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I did. Where she lost me was that one season. Ooh, I'm trying to think. Who's was it? Cynthia's bachelorette party when Cynthia's marrying Mike Hill that season. That's where she lost me. That's where she lost me. That's where her and Kenya both lost me, because I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I
I've
don't know
never
what y'all
cared for
doing.
Portia. I've never cared for Portia, and y'all know why. I don't understand how you are the granddaughter of a civil rights leader and you thought that the Underground Railroad was an actual Amtrak train. Bitch, boo, bye.
Girl, I
I
absolutely
will
love it.
never
Exercise ball almost
respect
fell over.
that lady for that ever. She was fun to watch at one point, though, even though I never respect her. She was fun to watch for many years on RHOA. But once she got angry and started fighting people, that's when I kind of was over Miss Portia.
Yeah, that's the high school. Them girls bullied her. You just putting people in places to, scatter through. But yeah, let me see where my notes at.
I don't think she was bullied like that in high school. I really
I
do
do.
not.
I do. I looked at pictures of her. I could see it.
I don't think she was bullied. I just don't.
You don't think she was bullied? Okay.
No. And if she was, she has Samia probably whooping people's ass for her.
But speaking of Shabia goes and sees the surrogate, Shadina, because Shadina has her own agency, because she wants to meet with the actual surrogate that's going to carry her baby, because she only has one male embryo left, and her husband really wants a son. Kelly shows up and, is there for emotional support, because Gerald doesn't want to be on camera. And she actually said it in the scene. So I was like, oh shit. So there was a conversation that happened about that. But Shamia is very emotional because she really feels the pressure of this being successful, and it's all on her back. And I have some opinions about this, but I'll wait till I explain the scene. Shamia also said that Gerald watched the most recent movie that she did, the one that Todd just produced. And she had a very intimate scene with one of the co-stars. And Gerald at first was cool with it and said that she did a good job. But then after, I guess he had a second train of thought, or maybe watched it the second time and maybe didn't see some shit. And he said, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like that you did this. And it really hurts Shamia. So she's telling Kelly in the scene that, she may have to give up acting. And Kelly was like, wait a minute. Let's, pump the brakes just a little bit. If we're not trying to lose our identities here. Like, you should be able to do your acting and have a life outside of your husband. And it should never be a situation where you choose. So, Shamia is taking in the advice, but Shadina walks in and, Shadina is telling, the girls come on back and, talk about, this embryo. She only has one male embryo left and, she's very scared that if this doesn't take, like, what's to happen. Now, here's my thing. Once again, I feel like Shamia, I understand where she is coming from. I understand that, this is a journey that is tough. We see a lot of this in examples all over the place. We really do. We see this all over the place. My problem is that this should not be all of the eggs that you have in one basket, is what I'm saying, especially when you have the money and the access and the options that most people do not have going through this journey to do other things. And I don't understand why people do not consider adoption. I don't understand that, because when you go through these shows and people have this exact same storyline, adoption never seems to be a topic of them getting their baby that way. And I just hope that that's something that they consider if this doesn't work, and also what Shadina considered, which is then buying more eggs to create more embryos. I'm hoping that that's something else they consider, but I don't understand. There's so many kids in the system, so many kids in other countries. Like, one, they can go get, an African baby. I don't know how hard that will be in today's climate and time with, our person in office, but I just feel like there's so many options she has because, of the access and the money, that I feel like she should consider that, and stop making it so detrimental that if this doesn't happen this way, that it cannot happen at all. Because that's what she's making it seem like. And I could be reaching. Mrs. Best, am I reaching? Am I going too far? Because I feel like I am, and I don't want to do that.
I missed what you said. My bad.
Well, I said that there's so many options when you have money and access and everything, that I don't want her to feel like if this does not work, that this is the end all be all, because that's how she's treating this, when there's so many other options she can consider, like adoption. And I said, I don't understand.
That man probably don't want an adopted baby. He probably wants the child to be from his own loin, knowing a Kenyan man. But I don't care. I know that's really bad to say. I could give a fuck, y'all. I really could give a fuck. I feel like there's more going on in her marriage that she don't want to show us. I don't understand why Shamia rebels against everything her husband's okay with. Like, you can be an actress without doing movies with sex scenes in them to appease your husband. That's one of the things I found to be weird. Sounds like she's doing a bunch of stuff and he just kind of wants her to be at home and be a wife. And I don't understand why she's not satisfied in just being a wife. But I think they got problems deeper than him wanting a son. And I think I agree with Lexi Lane's comment. She definitely needs to take a lot of the aspects of her marriage off of TV, but then she also doesn't control the edit that her marriage gets. But I think a lot of people tend to attack the husband and stuff. I don't think their marriage is perfect, but I do feel like Shamia may have switched up from what he thought he was getting since her coming back on this show and getting back into the limelight. Because if I was her, if I had a man as rich as him, I'd just be happy with that. I wouldn't need this show. I wouldn't need Portia. I wouldn't need nothing but my spouse. I do agree with you on the adoption thing, and I feel it's weird that she says her and Gerald haven't even had a conversation about what they'll do if they can't get a male embryo, if they're not able to produce the son. If usually people will have a backup plan, well, if we can't do this, then this is what we'll do, or this is what we'll look into. But yeah, I want her to stop sharing this type of stuff, because I think it's weird that you're even at the surrogate agency without him. He should have been there.
He didn't want to be on camera. She said it in the scene.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of that. If your man don't want to be on camera, don't film in your house. Don't go back to being a friend of. I'm not trying to be mean, but I haven't liked how Shamia has behaved since becoming a housewife. And it seems like we finally have housewives, but we can't really see the dynamic between her and her spouse. And look, Angela and Charles, they don't have the best dynamic. He be talking to her crazy and they have a weird dynamic, but at least they share it. I feel like Shamia just be keeping stuff away, but then still trying to force him on camera, even though he's clearly doesn't want to be seen, heard, or known. But I don't know. I hope she figures it out. I think this show will end her marriage, though, if she keeps on keeping on the way that she is.
Ooh. They
need to meet in the middle, and it doesn't seem like they're meeting in the middle at all. So
I see. Yeah, I can see that too, and I hope it doesn't, because I do like their dynamic in marriage.
She's prioritizing having fame and a career over her marriage and family. I am not saying she's a bad mother. I am not saying she is a bad wife, but she's prioritizing other things over her husband and what he wants.
Yeah. But Dr. Jim Bunny said that her and Phaedra are from the same hometown, so it tracks with what's going on with the university. Late. No, you're not late, Naya. We're happy that you showed up nonetheless. Don't worry about that. She means that, yeah, I after Mrs. Best broke it down, I do agree with that. I absolutely 100% agree with that. Because that man will get a son one way or... Oh,
he will.
Lord have mercy. How old is Gerald, by the way? I mean, I keep reading some that he's in his 60s, and I'm hoping that's
63.
Not... Oh, wow. Okay, so he needs a son. What the hell? It keeps to be the problem. Shit.
He was born in 1962 in Naomi, Kenya.
Oh, okay. So he's a little bit older. So okay. Okay. I got it. Is he putting the pressure on her about having a son, or is she putting all the pressure on herself? She's keeping saying, I don't know how he's going to feel if he don't get a boy. I think it's both. I think he is putting, I don't think it's necessarily like pressure, like I'm going to leave you if I don't get my son. But I think
men really pride themselves on having a son. Right. It is considered like one of the greatest gifts that you could get in our culture. However, a lot of Kenyan men are also just as happy with having a daughter. So, and Gerald don't seem unhappy. We see him talk. I feel like Shamia is putting that extra pressure on herself.
I think he does want more kids. I think that's the pressure he's putting on her, is wanting more children. I don't think it necessarily means he needs to have a boy out of the equation, but I think he is wanting like a big family because he didn't have kids when he met her and he's older. So I'm thinking there is a time length here that he's saying, hey, I'm getting older. I need to have more kids. You want to be on this show and at the arena doing your little shit there.
Egg donors exist.
They do.
Egg donors do exist, and this is a couple that can afford it. Find an egg donor. Utilize Gerald's sperm, since it seems like Shamia, she does seem like she has a big heart and would be a great person to love a child that may not be her own DNA, but there's a lot that they can do. But the way she keeps stressing about this one embryo, it's the last boy. I'm like, girl, the man obviously, like, no matter what we say, he obviously loves you if he don't want to be on camera and is enduring the bullshit that is the Real Housewives for you. So he obviously cares about her. But she seems like the type to put extra pressure on herself, but she also is not balancing other stuff appropriately. She could make compromises, like maybe do movies without sex scenes, things like that. Like there's a lot she can do to make her situation better, but she's not doing it. Instead, she's crying to Kelly's small ass. So I don't know.
Yes. But speaking of Kelly, we're going to move on to the next scene, y'all. So Kelly is at the house and she's with her oldest baby. She's finally revealing the care packages that she, her and Shamia put together for her daughter. And in the same breath, she is talking about how it's very frustrating that she can't film with her other daughters because of her ex-husband, and that this is her life. She's a mom first, and that she wants to be here for, her daughters. And the oldest daughter is not by this man, so she can film with her. And the other daughter is grown anyway. But she's putting together her packages. They're going over the condoms and the most embarrassing, Plan B pills and shit that should be put in that basket that we deemed as inappropriate. And, she has the contract for her daughter saying that, you agreed to get a degree, finish school. The daughter asked if she can get a job. Kelly said that, she's not against it. And then she said, can I get a car? And Kelly said, you ain't get no car. You ain't get no car. Like, we ain't finna have that. And I'm like, she ain't got no car, Kelly? Damn. Okay. I mean, she said, yes, but keep going. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of all the things that you were able to accomplish. I was in college when I had you. So, I'm just happy that you're going, in great direction. But when I tell you, Kelly cracked me up, she said, you ain't getting no car. I said, damn, Kelly, you can't even get her a Toyota Corolla or something? Shit. She said, okay, time for you to go back to school. You can do the Uber X because I am on a budget. I said, ooh, we. Mm.
Girl, if you on a budget, I would imagine it's cheaper to get in your car and drive your daughter where she needs to go than to take a Uber X. Just a
Yeah.
suggestion. Just a suggestion.
I mean, I would prefer Kelly to put on some clothes and go take her daughter to school. You know, she got a brand new Range Rover. You mean tell me you can't take your daughter to school? Okay, that's only 30 minutes out the way. The kids be all right. Shamia is afraid that another child will come out sickly like her second daughter did. Oh, I could see the concern with that. But I feel like that shouldn't also be a hindrance to why you would stop or why you would have other concerns because
Oh no, it
as you said,
absolutely would be a hindrance. Having a special needs child or a sick child is extremely difficult. It's a lot of work on parents. There's fields dedicated in mental health to supporting parents through having a special needs child. I didn't think about that. It felt like that was a really, really good point that Krista Darling Potter made because she already seems to be having trouble. Look at how she was crying in Grenada when something went wrong with the baby that was already, struggling.
No, I got all of that. I'm saying like the chances of it happening again. Like I don't think that was something on Gerald and Shamia's behalf. I think that had to do with Shadina getting sick. Yeah, no, I thought
still
that
it can cause nerves.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, absolutely agree with you guys 100% on that. I can see what you guys are talking about there. That is a good point, though. That is a good point to bring up. I just don't want that to be what they expect this go around because it was a very special case, that happened. Let Kelly get her finances straight. I'd rather she wait and spend smart for once. I feel like if Kelly would take back some of them damn purses and shit. No, let me stop. No, let me stop, baby. You can keep your purses. I was just playing. Don't pay me no mind. Don't pay me no mind. But I just thought that's crazy. I thought Kelly bought her a car already. I didn't know Kelly didn't buy that baby a car. But
she probably want to buy her some expensive car. Kelly, if you don't go find your local auction or go find one of them little ratchet buy here, pay here's in Oakland, we got Heavenly Auto. Okay, you go up in there with $3,000, you walking out with something. It might be a Buick LeSabre from 2004. It just might be, but it's gonna run.
Get her run. Kelly, get her a Toyota Corolla.
A 97 Toyota Corolla. They are still on the road. Listen, them the best cars ever. 97 Toyota Corolla or Camry.
At least let her be able to plug an aux cord in the car. Come on now.
They got tools for that. She could go buy one of the converters. She don't need a fancy car for her first car. That girl from point A to point B. That's all she needs. And Kelly's probably trying to buy her a Range Rover or some shit for her first car. She don't need that.
She don't need that. She need a Toyota Corolla. She need a Honda Civic. She need what's another good car that she can get? Kelly, you can get her a Toyota Camry. You can get her a Honda Accord. You can get her a Ford Fusion. You can get her all kind of shit like that ain't expensive. I agree with Mrs. Best. I think you're trying to get her something, a Mercedes or a Range Rover. Girl, listen, we ain't got that kind of money.
Just get her a car.
We only got one restaurant.
It was a 2001. No, it was a year 2000 Ford Explorer Sport. Okay, get you a cheap first car. And my dad, before that car, he did give me my first car ever. That other car was a payment, but he gave me a 1999 Mazda something. That car ran so good. I wish I didn't give it up. Like, you don't need all of that. Trust me, a freshman in college is just happy to be able to drive somewhere.
I'm trying to tell you, because my first car was a 1997 Pontiac Bonneville. The worst car I've ever had, but it definitely got me to point A to point B. You would have thought that car was not fuel injected the way it used to.
It was loud.
It was, yeah. You would think that car was not fuel injected the way that shit used to give me trouble in the morning. That engine was cold. That shit said, okay, motherfucker, I got you. Watch me not go past this green light. But I'm just saying, y'all don't have to get...
She more than likely it's her first car too. She might crash it. You never know.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I didn't crash the only car I crashed was my 97 Nissan Altima. That's the car I got after the Bonneville. That Bonneville did not last 6 months in Phoenix. That shit said, motherfucker, it's too hot here. Goodbye. So I had to get me a 1999 Nissan Altima. But that Altima, before I crashed, that shit lasted me 3 years. That car was great. Get her a Nissan. Yeah, Kelly, you doing too much. You
Look,
can get that baby.
Jay is a dream said her daughter getting a Kia. I heard that. That's a cheap car, nice car, runs good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially them
Sounds
Optimus,
simple.
the one that Blake Griffin jumped over. Oh yeah, those are good.
That jumped off.
Yes. Shamia is a people pleaser, and because she is that, she's going to get along with having more kids when she doesn't want any of it. You don't think she wants any Keywan? I think she does. But I do think she is a people pleaser. Absolutely. We see that with Portia. So I do think that she is a people pleaser, but I don't know. I feel like she does want more kids. I do. Kelly needs to fill out a Walmart application and stop playing. Girl, get you a Ford Focus, Kelly, and write out, hey, y'all. No, Kelly want to be big and bad. She had an Escalade that she almost crashed in Shamia's house last season, driving that water up into that garage. That shit was funny as hell. And then she has this new Range Rover she had episode 2. I don't know where she got that from because Range Rovers are not cheap. So I don't know where she got that from. And she talked about she having money problems and shit, about to file bankruptcy unless it was a gift. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Kelly is doing too much. Like, it is not, it has to be all of this. Yeah, I know that's right. Get your daughter that Kia. I can't see what this emoji is.
It's a laughing emoji.
Oh, okay. Kendra Mar brought his sister a Toyota Camry. I know y'all buying these kids these expensive ass,
let me tell you
high grade gas cars.
Camry is gonna be on the road. There's a reason you see old school Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans on the road. You don't never see nobody driving a Range Rover from 1996. Okay, nope. But you will still find a 96 Altima, Camry. I'm trying to tell you.
I had
the
a supervisor.
Higher and more expensive the car is, when I was selling cars, I was like, you really got to have money to buy these fancy cars, because the more it costs, the more you got to do in maintenance, the more you spend it in gas. It's not always worth it. But maybe Kelly is like our new Sheree. She'll be driving her Range Rover for 20 years later in the next season.
And it's going to end up like Kelsey's. Yeah, we already see it. I had a supervisor at Discover. She still drove. She had an Infiniti, a brand new one, but she was so attached to her 1992 Nissan Sentra, and she drove it every day. She would drive that Infiniti from time to time, but she drove it every day because she was so attached to that car, because it was a car that was given to her. Like, her husband had bought it for her for a gift, but he divorced her 2 months later, and then made her a single mom because he just fled the country and just left her with her baby. And she started Discover the same month that, her divorce was final. And she was pushing a 92 Nissan Altima back in them times, and it still worked. Like, it still was a good car. And so from there, she just kept driving it. And she says she's not going to stop. I don't know what she's doing in today's time, because it's been 10 years since I've seen her. But yeah, I remember that time. But let's continue. I'm gonna read some more comments. Tariq's prescribed a little Mazda. He paid half and I paid the other half. I know, that's right. Make them pay. I knew this dude who had a 1996 Range Rover, but it was in 2006. I was in college then. He thought he was that dude. Oh, of course. Because it's a name brand car. It's one of the ones that a lot of people can't afford. So yeah, I get you, but child, that don't mean nothing today in today's time. We need reliability. Times is too hard now. We need reliability. And that's the memo I want to give Kelly. We need reliability. We don't need some shit that just because it look cute, that mean that, it needs to be what it is. So the next thing we see is, Phaedra's Reiki event. She's bringing that onto this franchise like she did Married to Medicine. So she's having a healing water event. That's what she called it at her house. She has all of the setup there. They're preparing the food, like lamb chops, making me hungry, Phaedra. But she has, all the ladies are coming. The first to get there were Portia, Drew, Angela, and Cynthia. So they were the first to get there. And then came Michelle, Pinky, and Shamia were coming together. And then Kelly was coming later because Kelly was undecided because she had a rough day. So she was undecided if she was coming, but she shows up later. But Pinky and K Michelle have a conversation. And what we learned in this conversation is that she, still communicates with her ex, the one that she chose on Queen's Court. She still communicates with him. And he said that, he was dating Portia, and Portia got mad because, you know, he had said that he had dated K Michelle, and she kept saying, like, well, why I got to get everybody's leftovers and men? Somewhere around something saying like that. But K Michelle is mad because Portia didn't say that she was dealing with him. And and she all up in her face and everything, and she said that this is the kind of energy that Portia's on. I don't want to be near her because why you didn't tell me, and I'm your friend, that you was dating somebody that I used to be with publicly. Now, y'all not gonna like me when I say this. Oh my god, I'm gonna wait to say it. I think this is the best number I'm going with this, but I'm gonna wait. So everyone gets to Phaedra's house, and we now know the backstory of a problem that came to Shaw's with Portia. So, they're in the pool on air mattresses nonetheless. I said, Phaedra, you couldn't find something to put in your pool. You had to give them air mattresses. Y'all, air mattresses are not made to go in pools. They are not. So,
is that what those were?
Those are air mattresses. Yes, those were air mattresses.
I thought they were the little bed floaties. I did not realize those were air mattresses.
Those were air mattresses. All of them are air mattresses. Finna get them electrocuted. But anyways.
She was finna get them electrocuted.
Yeah, finna get them electrocuted. And them fools were just getting on there like it was nothing. I said, I wouldn't even have got on there. I was K Michelle. K Michelle had a reason why she couldn't get in the water. But I wouldn't have got on them things. And then as soon as Shamia got on hers started deflating. And she said, wait a minute, y'all, I'm going in the water. What's going on? Why is this deflating? And didn't nobody help Shamia? Did nobody do nothing? So the men and Aiden took off his shirt, because Apollo has them at the gym at the age of 10. So he get off his shirt trying to show off his muscles. And Phaedra's like, yeah, see, that's my son. He always worked for his money. But if you ask him to take his shirt off, he'll do that for free. And I'm just looking at Phaedra like,
weird.
Why in the hell would you say some shit like that? But okay, Phaedra. Okay. So they do the little seance thing, and Kelly is, very emotional. She just had a rough day. So they all sit down and, Phaedra said this is a healing, journey. Everyone got something out of this, which was good. But K Michelle said that, because she feels so moved by it and got more of it than she expected, she was, gonna say the things that are bothering her. So she directs her energy at, Portia and saying that, it was brought to my attention that y'all are trying to plot on me. First, it was Drew with this whole black thing. And Drew was like, wait a minute, hold on. I did not bring that up, first off. You're not going to put that on me. I just asked if you knew him. You say you didn't. I let that shit go. And you kept bringing it up and everything. And I want you to stop saying his name. And when Drew said that, I was like, stop saying his name. Kim Michelle said, I'm going to say his name. I'm going to say his name. You don't move me. She goes, see. And Kim Michelle, and Drew was like, yeah, you're so obsessed with me. You always talking about me, running down my resume and shit. And Kim Michelle said, it's easy. Ain't shit on it. And I said, now, K Michelle, I love you. I do. But we not finna act like Drew ain't got no resume. Now, we not finna do that to Drew. Now, I iffy with Drew at times. I like her and sometimes I don't. But I'm sorry. Drew played herself on a TV show that was very popular. It's not like she was a character. She actually played herself.
Have the problem with the person, but let's not tear down each other's accolades, baby.
Right, please. Yeah, that was my.
Know what that feels like when Beyonce came out with Cowboy Carter and people was acting like Beyonce was the first Black woman to try and do country, and she wasn't. So, okay, don't come for her to that extent.
Yeah, I was with you up until that point. And so Drew was all like, yeah, you need to Yoda your way out here because you don't fit in. And when Drew said you don't fit in, I said, ooh, Drew. Now, wait a minute, Drew. This is where I'm going to get you. Where did that come from? Why did you say that? That lets me know that there was a conversation, and that could be the plot right there. Is that K Michelle doesn't fit in, and so maybe it's a way to get her ostracized. guys. That was my thought, because when Drew said that, I thought, like, okay, see, there it is right there. That's part of it. I don't think that's the full extent of it, but I feel like that's a part of it. I feel like K. Michelle is having run-ins with certain people, and she's not fitting in because she alienates herself from the group. And I think it was that shit with Shamia and Kelly that made it that way. And I can see it now dealing with Portia, since Portia is on the outs with both Kelly and Shamia. So some things are coming together when it comes to that aspect. So when Drew said that, that's what made my head start turning. And now I started to see things a little bit more clearly. So, and we're going to get to that in a minute, DM Rocks. We'll get to that in a minute. So, as they come down, K. Michelle wants to finish her issue with Portia. So she confronts her about dealing with Nosh, who was the guy that K. Michelle chose on Queen's Court and, you know, was supposed to be her king. And Portia said, K. Michelle, I did not know you when I was dealing with him. I did not know you. I didn't know y'all were a couple. I did not know anything about that. I dealt with him, and it's Atlanta. Atlanta is small, so of course somebody probably will deal with anybody. You know, people gonna get recycled. It is what it is. Now I said, Portia, y'all. Here's the thing. My issue with this whole situation with the Nosh thing, as much as I hate this, because I do agree. Now, if this was a circumstance that was different, I understand where K. Michelle was coming from. If you dealt with somebody I used to deal with, please let me know, so that way I can, you know, fathom you being in my space. Don't blindside me with something, or don't let somebody else tell me, hey, you know, you should use date with, you know, your ex. Because me personally, I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that. But don't be in my face with it. Now, the problem that I have with this, and y'all, I know y'all not going to agree with me on this, I don't feel like Nosh counts. And the reason why I feel like that is because she met him as a contestant on a different reality TV show, and the picture that went public was them at the premiere party. It was nothing more, nothing less. You didn't hear about them being a couple outside of that show. So for me, I don't feel like Nosh counts. That's why I'm not 100% on K. Michelle's side when it comes to his dealing with Portia. Oh, I'm glad y'all see it my way, because I felt like y'all were going to say that, James. Come on, y'all know. I don't feel like he counts. I don't. And that's why I feel like I'm more on Portia's side with this. I feel like K. Michelle is tripping when it comes to this. I feel like, to me, we don't know if that's real or not. We don't know if that's real because of how you met him. It would be different if they met each other. Like, I would accept if they met each other on the 6-figure dating after all the celebs go on, and that's how she met him. I would accept that.
That
but I'm not going to.
Queen's Court was a dud, and she didn't even choose anybody. I don't think.
Right. No,
I covered that show, right?
I think, did she choose him? She chose him.
She chose him at that time. I have to go back and look at my review, but whenever somebody meets the way she met him, and they weren't even together that long, and the fact that that man is African, also no shade. Like, if he's African and in Atlanta, Portia probably has been around him. I just find it to be odd. Also, as a married woman, I don't give a fuck who my ex is with. Who cares? You married to Dr. whatever his name is.
Right.
Who cares? It's not really your business. Be concerned with your husband, not about who your ex is dating.
But she's done this before. She's done this before on Love and Hip Hop. And I get where she's coming from, because she got mad at Arian for Arian admitted that she slept with Memphis. Like, remember, Arian had did an interview, and she revealed that she slept with Memphis for, you know, just casual sex. It was nothing more, nothing less. And K. Michelle got mad about that because she was entertaining Ariana as a friend on the show, and she got mad because Arian didn't tell her. So she's doing the same thing with Portia. Even though K. Michelle married, got a whole other situation, she mad because Portia didn't tell her. And it was like, well, does he count? Like, y'all weren't publicly dating. Like, y'all had that one appearance.
It needs to be like a serious
relationship
for you to be tripping out.
like that. Like to me, I just feel like no, I
And then
needed
it's
something
a
else.
situation where you, Portia's friend, you know how she moved with people. You know, one day she got one boo, the next day she got the next boo. She might be trying somebody over there. It's not that deep.
It's not, and that's why I was like, okay, K Michelle, I feel you. And in the hindsight, like if the situation were different, you are absolutely correct. But when you revealed who it was and when you said where he came from, I'm sorry, no, he doesn't count. I'm on Portia's side. That don't count. And especially if Portia didn't even know you when you were on that show, then I really feel like you're reaching for this moment. And I kind of feel like to me that was stupid for you to even bring up. Like, we know Portia get around. And 9 out of 10, if you choose an African, check the receipts, check the Google Yelp reviews, check to see the roster. Because as Kelly said, which Kelly was wrong as fuck for this, Portia, because Phaedra said what we can establish here is, and Kelly blurts out that Portia slept with every Nigerian in Atlanta. I said, Kelly, this had nothing to do with you. This is not your problem. You weren't in the argument. You weren't in the conversation. You should have just sat there, drunk your wine, and ate your lamb chops. Because this had nothing to do with you. And I can't believe once again, I got to defend Portia because I wasn't mad at Portia for standing up to Kelly. I just wasn't. Because to me, that was not called for. I don't give a fuck what Shamia told you about Portia. You did not need to say that. So for you to jump in, she's like, "Oh, you got the right one, Portia. I'm with it. I'm sure you are." But Portia with it too. We actually seen Portia beat somebody ass. We ain't seen you do nothing. So if they were to let you go, I want to see what you was gonna do. But they escort them two off. They didn't fight. Kelly's in the house. Portia's outside. She mad, and she reveals you bad because you screwing a married preacher. And this is where revealed that the man was a preacher, and this is where it's revealed that he's Phaedra's client. I said, "Damn, Phaedra, she's just putting all your confidentialities out there. You're not supposed to be publicly telling it. Phaedra, don't you have a confidential agreement with your clients? You ain't supposed to say this like HIPAA. You're not supposed to be saying things out loud like this, Phaedra. What you doing?" But the episode goes off, y'all, and like I said, once again, I do agree that there is some plot because of what Drew said and the conversation that we had, me, Mrs. Best, and all of you. I do see the plot. I do see something. But where K. Michelle is missing the mark is she's bringing up irrelevant things. Like this whole Nosh thing, as I said, I don't feel like he counts. I'm sorry, K. Michelle. That's a reach. That is a reach. I'm sorry. I need something else. If you're going to do this, if you're going to go toe-to-toe with Portia, I'm not mad at you doing it because I'm going to be on your side. But I need something better than this because it's kind of like when you in college and they tell you to cite your sources and your instructor or your professor comes back to you and say, "Hey, your paper is brilliant, but your sources, they need to be stronger than this. This is not going to suffice." That's how I feel about this situation. So, but Mrs. Best, how did you feel about everything that went and transpired?
I look at Portia and Kelly as the same. The only difference is one hoes out loud and one hoes in secret. That's it. I mean, that's literally how I look at it. Don't talk to me no more on these shows, please, about these pastors and who people's cheating with. Say the name or say nothing at all. Because they keep saying a whole lot while saying a bunch of nothing, but I don't feel like Nosh counts. That's really the only part of that I cared for. I wish security wouldn't have gotten away. Because Kelly just said a couple episodes ago that she wouldn't want to start no beef or nothing with Portia or Angela because of how small she is. But then in this scene, she talking about, "You got the right one with me." So I'm like, what is really going on? But I guess we'll see if more happens. But I feel like Kelly and Portia are both liars, just in different ways.
Oh, absolutely. 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 Dear Ross, I actually met Kendra Lamar's sister when she went to high school by me. Oh, that's cool. Dear Ross, you're just well connected. I love that. Dr. Jen Bunny said her first car was a 1991 Honda Civic in 2001. Was it like the one Janet Jackson had in Poetic Justice? Because this shit, I remember I did not want that car for that one particular scene where she couldn't get it started. That's the reason why I didn't want that car. Air mattress, my God, yeah, it was an air mattress. It was. Phaedra knows she wrong. She knows she wrong. Listen, a Civic will run after our demise. Them cars run for they show do. I think I know somebody that still has a 1990 Honda Civic. I think I had a neighbor in Hayward that still has hers. Phaedra is so serious. She really is, baby. But don't he look like Apollo? Look dead on him. I'm telling you, that's crazy. Drew, yeah, Drew. I could leave or take Drew. I really can. She should have never been casted for this show. Who you talking about, Dr. Jim Bunny? You talking about K. Michelle? Who you talking about? You see K. Michelle yells at Drew, but never yells at Portia. Yeah, I read this one. Yeah. Yeah. And Drew knew that shit was going to fall flat. I don't know why Drew even brought that shit up. I was with Drew in this fight. Why is K so pressed about nothing? I'm trying to tell you, y'all, I can't wait to the reunion. I'm already ready for the reunion. They can end this shit. Let me go to the reunion. I need some shit answered. I don't like how everyone takes everything Drew says out of context. Keeps working on my nerves. They do. You know why they do it? It's because it's like the Stacey thing. They always want to pay Drew to be a liar, and ever since that's been painted of her, that's all they expect of her is for her to lie. And it's the same thing with Stacey. The difference between Stacey and Drew is Stacey was able to dispel the things that they say that she lied about. She was able to prove that she was divorced. She was able to prove that her company opened after the fact that she said she didn't have a cannabis line. It was months later. She was able to prove that she was the first Black woman in the state of Virginia to have a cannabis line. They actually did a whole article in, what was it, Ebony magazine or one of the magazines. So the thing with Drew is I want Drew to have her moment too. But the problem with Drew is that her shit be so grimy and messy that you can't really grab onto it the same way you can with Stacey. I think that's the difference. But they're doing the same thing. It's the same thing. If we new friends, you don't have to tell me about past dudes you slept with so long as it's not my son or my husband. Okay. I don't really care one way or another. I just don't want to be around that person. Especially if it's somebody I ain't seen in years, warn me, especially if they said they did used to be with me, warn me ahead of time so I'm prepared to see them. That's all. I just need to be prepared to see them. Because I want to be like, Drew, gee whiz, I didn't see you in 10 years. I thought you died. I want to be prepared to see people. Kay Michelle loves to have a problem with women over a man. She's married. Let it go, Kay. I agree. I agree 100%. And he don't count. He doesn't. He is for the streets. Why would you expect Portia to be loyal to anyone but herself? True words. Kay pressed about everyone but her man. Well, did she say she let her man cheat and shit? She was on somebody's platform saying that shit. I was like, girl, okay. Kay Michelle was just reaching. That ain't Kay, man, and ain't nobody checking for someone that Kay's ex or not. And Portia and her wasn't even friends yet. Plus, you married Kay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how Kay was mad about that shit. It was the same shit she did with Arian. It was like, okay, but you weren't with him at the time that they were messing around. And then this was somebody who, yeah, Kay Michelle's weird. She just is. But I love her still, but she's weird. Is Portia sleeping with all the Africans in Atlanta to try to get her a Gerald like Shamia got? She's trying to get her keeper for her forever. I don't know if she's going through the men to get a Gerald out of the situation. Like, because you don't have to sleep with everybody to do that. You could just decipher through based on, what you see them doing. And you could pull up, credit reports and shit unless they're not here legally. But, she ain't got to sleep with them to get that kind of information. You could just, get other things. Ladies, let that be wisdom. You ain't got to sleep with them to figure out if they got what they got. That could just be shown later on, through other instances if you really want to know. These girls are also odd. It's hard to take sides. Even with Arian, I absolutely see where Kay was coming from. But with Portia, I kind of think she doesn't want to be down in the gutter with Real Housewives of Atlanta. I didn't see where she was coming from with Arian. I felt like that was weird as hell. I'm sorry. I thought that was weird. Because it wasn't like it was a relationship. It was just sex. And you were done with him and he was married to a whole other person. I could see if Kay was still with him at the time. Absolutely. But if this man is with a whole other woman and you don't want him based on the reasons that you should not want him for, no, I don't see where her problem with Arian was. I think that was weird. Yeah. Kelly had no reason. She did. Kelly was team too much, like she always is. But when Portia put that finger in her face, it was up and stuff. I was happy she did. To me, when you got a widescreen mouth like that and a Megatron and a literally a voice, Megatron though is a voice where you loud as fuck. I don't pertain to violence. I'm not a violent person, but I would not have been mad if Portia would have pushed the fuck out of her. She fell back in that chair. I wouldn't have been mad. I promise y'all, I would not have been mad. Just saying. These ladies are slinging around a lot of bedroom allegations. Because, being a hoe is not tolerated. Kelly, it's obvious you have watched this show in the past and you did not see what happened to the last chick that put an object in Portia's face. It wasn't an egg. Shitty. Portia would have destroyed Kelly. Though. I mean, I'm saying it would have been WWE over there. I haven't seen Portia actually beat someone, throw hands, but I've seen her pull hair, jump on Cynthia.
Portia ain't beat nobody's ass. She get angry and moves around like a crazed bird or a rabid dog and just knocks people down in a way, kind of like a bowling ball heading for pins. But I don't think Portia can even fight from what I've seen.
When did somebody say this man was a stewardess? Because that's what Portia said. He ain't no damn stewardess. Oh, because they say her drawers came off when she got off the plane. So when she exited the plane, her underwear came off, and Kelly confirmed that it did. So I don't know if someone in the moment said, was it a stewardess? Because that's weird as hell. Your drawers come off after you get off of a plane. So maybe someone was saying, was it a stewardess? And they probably edited it out. That's probably what happened. I see Tammy whoop a bit, and Tammy who? Tammy who? Dr. Jim, please explain who you talking about Tammy. You talking about Tammy as in Tammy Roman or Tammy as in Waka Flocka's ex-wife? Because they both fought on public television. If you talk about Tammy Roman, let me know what fight that was. Because I didn't see the same fight. I just saw a bop to the head and hair pulling. And if we talk about her fight with Duffy, Duffy actually hit her in the face and gave her a big ass knock. So I want to see which Tammy you talking about. Kelly's from Baltimore and tiny girls fight crazy. And they fight crazy where we're from too. But for some reason, I don't see that from Bad Girl Club. Not Kelly came and showed Portia are all plastic. Naya, you ain't never told a lie there. A secret hoe and a secret girl. I agree. Wrap this story like I'm trying to tell you. I'm ready to go to the reunion. I'm over this. Drew should have never been casted. She ain't fit in. Girl, go raise your children. Baby, Drew need this check. Y'all ain't hear about what's going on with her these days? Drew need this check. If she don't need none other checks, she definitely need this one. Drew's okay. Give that girl a break. Drew and Stacey are not the same. They're not the same. No. I'm not saying that they're the same, but the reaction to the cast members of their said shows is the same because they're doing the exact same thing. Once you've been accused of lying, which is crazy because in both franchises, all of them have lied. But somehow with Drew and Stacey, when they lie, it's always a harsher punishment than when Giselle lies or when Portia lies. They don't get the same treatment, is what I'm saying, as Stacey and Drew does. Tiny, y'all are crazy. Girl, she dumb if that's true. K. Michelle is male identified. Yuck. Yeah, I can see that somewhat.
Thank you. Thank you to this person who left that comment because that's exactly what it was. And that's why I did feel like Kay was within her right with Arian. But you also can't expect much out of people who are on Love and Hip Hop or Zeus. I just don't expect much of them in terms of behavior, ethics, or morals.
But was it revealed at the time that Arian slept with him that he was abusive?
Yes, she had said that on the show. Remember, that was part of the reason people today
Arian
are still
slept with him
saying.
before that, though. She had revealed it was way before Love and Hip Hop.
Even so was Kay's relationship with that man, but it was still discussed. It's very weird, especially if you knew and it came out that she was discussing this on the show. It was weird. It was weird. It goes against girl code in every way of the word.
Portia said he's not a stewardess to give a hint that he's a pilot. Oh no, he's a pastor. We've already discussed this. Go back up there, I believe, and look at the past comments. We called out allegedly who it was because Portia said he was a pastor in that scene. Tammy Roman, she has games to punches to who? Dr. Jen.
Tammy talks a lot, but
I ain't never seen her punch somebody.
I've seen of Tammy on TV, I haven't really seen her do much. You could usually tell if somebody know how to fight based on if they throw a punch or not. And I just remember when we first saw Tammy get physical with Evelyn, she didn't really throw a punch.
Oh, so y'all saying with Mika, she gave a punch.
That was bullying.
That was bullying, and that was an open hand pop when Mika wasn't looking and had her head turned. That was not no punch. That was hair pulling. That was Mika kicking her in the stomach. I need something else. Give me something else. If Tammy Roman really got hands the way we say that she do, I need to know, other than Mika, because that was a hand clap to her forehead when she wasn't looking. Was there anybody else that Tammy Roman has fought on national TV that would dispute that would dispute my thought that Tammy has hands? Because I don't see it. Because with Duffy hit the shit out of her and left her with a big ass knot on her forehead. And I think the unedited version is still up on YouTube today, where you can see that. I thought she hit Mika. No, it was an open hand, like almost like a mush, but it wasn't a mush. She hit her open hand. So, no, that was Miss Keisha, the timid one. They was bullied. It was her. No, they bullied Mika too. They bullied Mika as well. I'll be looking. Yeah, look up Duffy versus Tammy. I believe the unedited, because they left the edited version where it looked like Duffy didn't do shit. But the unedited version of that shows Duffy hitting her twice in the head, and then you saw when they security pulled her back, a big ass knot on her forehead. But yeah, but anybody else, yeah. I thought it was the other girl who got the back thrown. Now I side-eyed Tammy. Keisha didn't want to fight. Keisha ran into her room and locked the door. And it was knocking on the door with her purse and shit.
Tammy, back in those days, Tammy almost got canceled and everybody wanted her to be off of the show because she got to a point where she was getting physical and trying to fight people who were not the type to fight back or who expressed that they did not want to fight back. If I know somebody's not a fighter, or if I know that I could whoop their ass if I'm mad, I'm not going to fight them. It's not fair. My daddy taught me always have a fair fight. You need a fair opponent. That's how you get better.
Drew is doing now and Angela being Portia's flunky. Shake my head. I see Angela playing the long game, but I need the ladies to stand alone, handle their own business. They're never going to do that. Portia is the queen bee. Angela, Drew, and Phaedra are the worker bees. And then you have the opposing viewpoints. You have one who wanted to be up Portia's ass, but isn't. You have the one that wants to call out Portia's every flaw only to hide her own. And then you have the one, I don't know what the fuck she's doing here because her storylines ain't correlate. All she talks about this whole entire time is her bankruptcies. And then you have poor little K. Michelle, where we want to love her because of who she is, but she's not meshing well with the group. I just read everybody for filth. There you have it. I thought Ariel was living in the lady pile. Well, I mean, she is now, but back then she wasn't. Yeah, she does now. But back then she wasn't. She was, yeah.
She's not friends with what's her face no more either.
With Mimi, yeah, she's not. We
spoke about that on her interview like a little bit, but
Do you think it's going to be Portia and Shamia next to Andy again for this season reunion? No, I do not. I for sure think Portia will be sitting next to Andy, who I think will sit on the other side. Oh, I feel like it's going to be K. Michelle. I feel like it's going to be K. Michelle and Portia next to Andy. I
Nobody
feel
else
like,
is really having a season that's interesting enough
yeah,
for us to like discuss for them to be in first chair. But K. Michelle has expressed the issue with half of this group, and then Portia has caused a divide with half of the group. So it would make sense for them to get first chairs.
I think this is how my alignment's going to go. I feel like Portia and K Michelle at first chair. I feel like the lineup is going to go K Michelle. I feel like Pinky will sit next to K Michelle. I feel like it's going to be Kelly, and then Shami is going to be on the end. I feel like Shami is going to be on the end. And then for the other side, it's going to be Portia, Phaedra, Drew, and then Angela at the end. Or maybe Angela, then Drew. I don't know. But I feel like Shami is going to be on the end of the couch. I do. Gotcha with the that's how I feel. It's probably because Real Housewives of Potomac Stacey didn't rope in Giselle, and RHR Drew doesn't rope in whoever is currently. Yes, she does. Drew 100% ropes in with Portia. I just think that Portia gave in before Drew did. I think that's why it's not adding in that same way.
You think Drew ropes in Portia?
Mm-hmm. Right now, currently, yes. Because here's the thing.
See that.
It fights the optic.
When they're discussing it, but it seemed like Drew be having beefs separate from Portia. I don't really see her.
I feel like
this much. Maybe last season.
No, I feel like with this whole thing with the Black situation, I do think that in some way this was caused by Portia.
How?
Wasn't it Portia that was sitting in between them with the whole Black situation, and then wasn't she one that brought it up? And then Drew was like, "Yeah, don't you know him?" Wasn't that how that started, or am I reaching?
I feel like that's a little bit of a reach. I mean, she was at a table on FaceTime.
So I don't know, but I do feel like okay, if it's not that, maybe I'm aligning them of Portia leading the pact. That's probably where I'm coming from with that. Because they are divided as a group.
Needs to go from the cast because anybody that's aligned with her is just like people will think that Portia is responsible for everything that they say or do. I don't think Portia has that much power.
Okay, I can see that. Duffy caught her, and then that's when Shawnee O'Neal was pulling her hair. Yeah, because all Tammy was doing, Tammy couldn't get through Brandy because I was at Brandy, a big old Amazon woman, so. Brandy need to be a security guard because what I tell you, Brandy literally held Tammy back with one hand the entire time while Tammy was jogging in place. I was like, damn, Brandy, you know you a strong woman if you can hold that. Both Duffy and Tammy back, like, yeah. Her and Mika, I felt no ways. Mika was talking. Mika was messy as hell. But I feel like even with Mika being messy as hell, Mika didn't deserve to get that hit across her face like that, or that mush, or whatever we gonna call that. Which one of them was it that beat the hell out of that white girl because she was talking mad stuff and Tammy was like, see, Mika is a different... I don't even know what show that is, Shandy. So is Real Housewives somebody versus Portia show season after season? Oh, of course. Portia always going to be somebody after. And it's always going to be surrounded some man that Portia did slept with. Tammy was a serious bully back in the day on Basketball Wives. Yeah, she was. Brandy's glasses were flying in that Tammy fight. Yeah, they sure did. But one thing about Brandy, she held them back, though. Brandy needed a check from security that day because Brandy held them girls back.
Brandy is the strength. You would think that Brandy was the one that played professional football, not OG. The way that she used to be holding people back and
I'm trying to tell you, Brandy. That's why I was like, I don't think people want it with Brandy the way they think they do, because Brandy is a strong ass woman. Like, for her to hold Tammy back, like literally there was nobody around. She's literally holding Tammy with one hand and holding back Duffy, even though Duffy wasn't doing nothing. But Tammy could not get around Brandy for the life of her. Tammy was jogging in place, trying to get to Duffy.
Jogging in place.
She was. Go back and watch that video. Tammy was jogging in place. Tammy wasn't really trying to fight that girl like that. It wasn't until it got real heated and Duffy started to chest up. That's when Tammy went after her. But yeah, I remember that. I do.
Lord.
Cherry was trying so hard, but just by literally one person. Drew does. She's a flunky. I try to tell y'all, I'm seeing that. I really am seeing that. I am. I don't know why I can't correlate the moments, but I do see that
It
she's a
probably
flunky to
didn't
Portia.
happen in that moment. It did not happen in that moment, but she definitely is one of Portia's little minions. I like to call them in my head. But that situation, I don't think Portia felt that specific situation.
It is time for a brand new cast. I do agree with that. It is time for a brand new cast. I'm always team OG.
Ocho Cinco wanted me.
Here's the thing. I like her. Here's the thing. I was 70% on her side. The colorism things and all that, yes, 100% there with her. There was a few instances where I felt like she was bullshit.
The colorism stuff is foolery because Malaysia is a chocolate-skinned woman and she did just fine on that show. Brandy was dark-skinned. Malaysia was dark-skinned. There's been a lot of darker complected women on Basketball Wives that have done okay and been popular. I think the problem with OG, she just real strong in the face. Ain't got nothing to do with color, baby. You just strong in the face.
I just felt like I was with her with some of it, but then there was some bullshit. She had bullshit with her too. She did. I wasn't 100% on her team. I was 50. I would say 70-30 because I don't like it. So 70-30. Oh yeah, I remember Brandy told Tammy to bring your ass down here on this ground level. She sure did, and all Tammy did was, Tammy liked to jog in place and like to do that hand thing, and I'm just like, Tammy, go somewhere, sit down. We ain't got time for that shit. Either you gonna run up or shut up. Drew does a lot. Drew's a lot going on. I feel like this season I didn't feel like she did that last season. I feel like this season she's doing that. Period. OG ran Evelyn
different Drew every season. Hell, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, OG started a lot of her beefs, and OG has. Yeah, and I saw that too. That's why I was like, I couldn't 100% be on her side because I did see the flaws in the bullshit she was doing too. Yeah,
that was my main issue with the colorism thing for OG because she did start a lot of shit. And then played victim when they came back at her. And they did have her messed up a lot of times. And I did like side with her on a lot of stuff, but she also did start a lot of unnecessary stuff. But she gave us some legendary memes. So
she sure did. I'm trying to tell you.
She's still with her man.
She did. She triggered a lot of people. I feel like a lot of it was, I do, but then there was some of it that I kind of felt like, not in every situation. She was trying to make it seem like it was every time there was a problem with her, it had something to do with colorism. And I'm like, okay, no. When you was inserting yourself into CC's bullshit, it was not colorism there. You was inserting yourself. Trying to make a point. Forgive
the internet for forgiving Evelyn Lozada for calling that lady and doing the monkey chants. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Y'all was out of pocket for that.
You got whatever black blood mixed in them. I don't give a fuck. I will never forgive Shawnee or any of the fans who were just okay with Evelyn Lozada after that.
Child, James is killing me with that jogging. She was jogging and yeah. I can't play it here, but y'all go back and watch Tammy versus Duffy and don't tell me that Tammy was jogging in place. She was like exactly what she was doing, and then she did the slide to the left, slide to the right. That's exactly what she did. So yes, I'm not fight. She can't fight. I'm sorry.
I don't think Tammy realizes that people holding her back is for her own protection, not the other person's. Because every person Tammy got into it with, even the ones who didn't really want to fight, I just don't think Tammy could fight. She had a clear shot at Evelyn in that scene, and
she sure did at that store. I would never forget that.
Clear shot, couldn't get her.
That's why I caught that. I'm glass canceled. Yep, me too. It was flat out racism with CC. It was a tough season. Flat out racism. What are we talking about?
With CC on Basketball Wives?
When was it racism with CC? That's not what she called her. She said Lee. She didn't say Ling Ling. She said Lee when she called her Evelyn. I did my subtitles because I thought she said that shit too. But she said Lee when she called her Evelyn. She said, okay, well then Lee. That's what she said. She didn't say Ling Ling. the way to. So I made sure I was like, okay, before I completely cuss Evelyn out. I wish I had my channel then, or Mrs. Best had her channel then. The rest to
No
go through.
woman that's not black need to be doing any type of monkey sounds, emojis. Nobody needs to do that. And I find it interesting. The world did cancel Erica Mena for using the slang and verbiage of calling a black woman a monkey, but Evelyn got away with that shit.
Yeah. See, Evelyn got away with it was the monkey thing more so for me. The Lily thing, I thought that was the response to her calling her Evelyn. That's what I thought that shit was.
That's racial shade in every way of the word. Not okay.
No, I got you, but I'm just saying, I just felt like that was that monkey shit. No, that monkey shit was crazy. And I think the reason why, because Evelyn said a whole bunch of problematic shit. She had called Tammy the N-word. I remember that.
You calling black women monkeys, but you making black children and sleeping with our men. Like, make it make sense. I'm just saying. Is your man a monkey? Is your son one? We want to know.
Don't let her get to my because it probably you don't know what she's saying behind closed doors. Is she close to calling Tammy the N-word and then talking about she Afro-Latina, even though we ain't never heard Evelyn say nothing about it?
Makes her friend feel safe to be able to do that to other black women. That's why I always come at Shani O'Neal for that in her shady ass husband's church.
I don't like Shani. I never did like Shani. So yeah, like I said, Basketball Wives would have had a time with me if I had my channel back then. Because we would have had a time on this show. Because I'm telling you, Shani used to kill me with them nostrils. I'm telling you. Like, seriously. I guess black women money get it. Black women money get it. Yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. The power of a black man's tongue is why we stay behind as people. I'm trying to tell you, it is. Shawty is lame. Absolutely. Anytime a man cannot get canceled, I have to tell this congregation they each need to come up with $1,000 because he had an epiphany among
1,500.
Oh, 1,500. Excuse me.
Because I was so offended.
Anytime, and then he don't get canceled. Nothing happened. He just got a slap on the wrist, and everyone's all like, "Yeah, why we can't give him $1,500?"
Not Shani O'Nostril.
I was so mad at that shit because it was like, but nothing happened to him. He didn't get canceled. That church still running. Hey, let there have been a black woman saying that shit.
This is why I don't go to church. I'm coming here for prayer, and you asking me for $1? I need prayer because I'm stressed out over the dollars I got to spend. Don't ask me for no money.
Churches are nonprofit organizations.
And after working for a nonprofit organization, they are definitely for profit. They just get their profit in different ways, and it's not taxed as much.
It's not taxed, and probably sometimes none at all. That's why a lot of churches build lending companies and mortgage companies out of their churches because they won't get taxed for the money. It's a smart business tactic. It is. I just don't have the wherewithal to have a church in my own personal life because I would do some shit like that.
Oh, Keywan, that pissed me off. Especially in a black church in the South, because one thing we gonna do is loudly praise the Lord, and you hushing the congregation? Like what?
Yes, Shani, I am sitting on an exercise ball. It is fun, and it helps me with my knee pain right now. Yes. Exactly, Pastor Keto. I say what I see it. But anyway, y'all.
Rent at that $1,500.
Okay, for real. Where am I gonna stay if I give you this money? Look at some of the cars.
See the salvation and the blessing immediately after giving
me too. I better see.
And
it better not take long.
Be risen again from the tomb. Easter better happen twice that year.
Okay, you better have a barbecue every Sunday, and I don't want no cheap ass hot dogs and hamburgers from Costco. I want the real shit. Give me some real shit. I want to see it all. If I'm giving you that much money, I need to see, like, literally the benefits of my goat.
Right.
Of why I gave you that money.
My credit score.
I'm trying to tell you, I better have free counseling services. I better be able to throw a birthday party in the recreation room for free. I better be able to. I'm trying to tell you, I better have a ham every Thanksgiving when I drive up. I better have. Me too. I'm spiritual as well. I haven't been to church in I was at church recently because I had a cousin who passed away a couple of weeks ago. So I was at his funeral. Of course, I had to be at a church. If we call that a church, that was a funeral home, right?
That was not a church. That is a funeral home.
Okay. Well, then I haven't been to church since my dad
On
died.
Sundays, that place be gated up, boarded up, and empty with security. They do, because they in the hood.
But anyways, y'all, this was it. This was once again a good episode. As I said, I'm glad that we kind of see eye to eye on some things. K Michelle, I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping whatever plays out, plays out. I'm hoping, thank you, Naya. I appreciate you so much. I'm hoping that whatever plays out in your favor, because it would be a shame if Portia get away with some bullshit again. It would be such a shame. But that's it, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about any of the topics we talked about. We talked about a lot in this video for the hour and 45 minutes we were here. But let me know what you guys think about everything. I'm excited to read your guys' comments. Shout out to my replay game. Y'all, please subscribe to me. A lot of y'all watch, but y'all do not subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. It is free. I am not charging. We have a lot of fun here. My next video, you guys, this week, since you guys want me to do the reunion looks, I'll get with Mrs. Best and try to get that to you at least before the reunion airs, so we can tell you guys who our best dressed and worst dressed was. I need to go look at the looks again just to see. Yes, but that video will be dropping most likely on Sunday for the reunion for Bell Collective. Love and Marriage Huntsville has their season finale this week, so we'll be there for that. And of course, Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I'll try to get you guys some more content now that I'm back. Thank you guys once again. And I'll be on Mrs. Best's channel. Is Love and Hip Hop Hollywood tomorrow or Thursday?
It is, let me pull out my handy dandy notebook. It is on, because I got too many lives, friend. You see, I forgot and had to repost my schedule. It's on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so I will be on Mrs. Best's channel for Love and Hip Hop Miami. We gonna go in, I'm sure, because
I'm so tired of Boots.
Yes, because Boots want to give us a show at the last minute when the show can go off air. But anyways, y'all, we see you guys later. Thank you guys once again. We had a great time, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye now.